Cameroon's march to nationhood has been a long journey. First confiscated by the League of Nations in 1919 after Germany's defeat in the First World War, and then handed over to Britain and France as trustee-ship territories. Such was the course of Cameroon's division into two states. East Cameroon granted independence on the 1st of January 1960, while West Cameroon was judged by colonialists as unfit to stand alone as a country. Among the several monuments erected by Cameroon's founding fathers to celebrate that milestone, one stands out. It's a bridge constructed over the Mungo River, just outside the southwestern port of Tico and the economic metropolis Douala. On the inauguration in 1969, politicians from the two federated states quickly named it the Reunification Bridge before welcoming it as a giant step forward for Cameroon.
J'ai été là ce jour-là. Je me souviens très bien. On est parti du lycée de Niba pour aller sur le pont sur le Mungo. On était avec le proviseur, certains professeurs et un nombre d'élèves. On nous a choisis pour tenir le bouquet de fleurs. Une de nous tenait le bouquet de fleurs et l'autre le coussin pour couper le ruban. Le ruban symbolique pour l'unification du Cameroun. Je me souviens très bien qu'on se regardait. On nous a appris la chanson dans la voiture, je peux dire dans le camion où on était. Des Mungo, des Ascom, you are together and je me souviens plus le reste. C'est souvent qu'on nous disait que le jour J est arrivé et nous voici tous unis dans un même Cameroun.
I was there. I remember at that time I was a young boy, high school, lycée de Niba. It was back in 1969. It was a great event. You have the authorities and President read his speech. We were standing next to that area and we sang national anthem. Of course, there were a lot of people. At the end of the speech, I just said that there will not be any toll gate any longer on the Vuni Bridge. People were so happy, very, very happy. They had been shouting, dancing. It was not just the Mogo Bridge, it was just the road linking Douala to Tico and Limbia, which at the time was called Victoria. It was some kind of symbol, you see. And why people were so happy? Because that road and that bridge really facilitated the way between Douala and Tico and Limbia. It was a real symbol of unity.
The populations living here, though they are strangers, but they live so cordially. Carry out their economic activities, there are no problems. There is love among the population, a lot of peace among the population. So there is no problem. They live like one people. You can have the Tupuris, we have the Congo here in Douala, there are Bakweris, and there are those from the northwest. But the majority population here, they are the Tupuris.
What is interesting to note is the enormous influence of French Cameroon residents in British Southern Cameroon. And this influence was very much felt with the population of Kumba, Victoria, and Bamenda. In Kumba, for instance, the French Cameroon residents in Kumba formed a very strong pro-reunification group and financed the KNDP. And therefore, in October 1956, a secret agreement was signed between the KNDP, led by Foncha and the Baba, with the pro-reunification group of support Prizo, the National Union. And the aim was what? The pro-reunification group in French Cameroon will finance the KNDP because KNDP convinced support those group that unlike the KNDP wanted to be with their brothers in Cameroon. That is clearly stated in the letter. Unlike the KNC, we of the KNDP would want to be with the brothers in East Cameroon.
The Reunification Stadium in Douala. It was constructed in 1972 for Cameroon's hosting of the African Cup of Nations. It's a 39,000 capacity facility and has always become too small on big match days as Cameroon's reputation as Africa's football powerhouse grew by the day.
À cette époque-là, j'avais 15 ans exactement. Et j'étais interne au collège Saint-Jean de Banga, venant de Liberman, en 70. Donc, l'effervescence, moi-même habitant ici, nous on allait carrément à pied, plus on était à proximité du stade. Et à l'époque, ici au quartier, il n'y avait que des maisons en planche. Il n'y avait que des maisons en planche. Les gens passaient par ici pour aller au stade. Tous les matchs du championnat, à l'époque, Canon, Léopard, Rix, après le stade Aqua, tout se jouait ici. Donc nous, tout jeunes, nous faisions aussi, on s'amusait à l'époque, vous savez, les stades, c'est un parent ou un joueur qui te tient par la main et vous entrez au stade. Un parent, comme mon père même était arbitre, mon père était arbitre fédéral. Donc j'avais accès au stade beaucoup. À l'époque, vous savez, les championnats camerounais étaient très bien suivis. Très suivis. Il y avait beaucoup d'engouement. Douala avait, je crois, 4. L'Union de Douala, Cavan de Douala, Oryx et Léopard. Donc ces équipes-là se disputaient un peu le stade. Donc c'était une très grande effervescence à l'époque. Je sais qu'à Yaoundé, il y avait Canon, Diamant, Tonnerre et une autre équipe. Voilà. Dans la pensée du gouvernement à l'époque, je crois que tout ce qui était fait était que tout Camerounais soit à l'aise là où il peut être. Puisque, quoi que fassent les populations, d'où qu'ils viennent, de quel bord vous soyez, d'où que vous venez, n'importe où vous pouvez vous installer tranquillement. Il suffit d'être, comme on dit aujourd'hui, de savoir vivre ensemble. Savoir que même si ce n'est pas mon frère de sang, c'est mon frère. Depuis l'indépendance, les anglophones vivaient ici. Vous savez, les Nanga compagnies et consorts, c'est-à-dire qu'ils étaient déjà imprégnés de la chose, la chose fédérale, c'est-à-dire unitaire, c'est-à-dire on était tous rassemblés à l'époque, les anglophones et les francophones. Et le stade, à l'époque, On avait à l'époque les PWD, on les accueillait ici très bien dans les chefferies traditionnelles ici. À l'époque, les Tico United, les consorts étaient... il y avait beaucoup d'influences, quoi que fasse, au niveau de la réunification entre les anglophones et les francophones.
Douala also paid tribute to the architects of Cameroon's reunification by naming a boulevard at the heart of the city after them. This is where official ceremonies are held. It's thanks to political brinksmanship by Douala notables like Soko Prizo that West Cameroonian politicians accepted to drop the so-called second option.
There wasn't any permanent petition for Southern Cameroon achieving independence as a separate political state. That should be made very, very clear. And this is supported by the reports of the various United Nations visiting missions to British Southern Cameroons. The United Nations visiting missions of 1949, 1952, 1955, and 1958 never had any substantial request for independence as a separate state. The reunification camp had the support of Support Prizo and its reunification group in Cameroon. Peoples of British Southern Cameroons and the Doualas, and of course the Bafors, the Bakweri, the Bakosi, all this movement, as far as business was concerned, the marriages between peoples of Southern Cameroon, and also, of course, between the population of present-day Northwest and the population of present-day West region, especially the Bamums and the Nsor. There was this pro-reunification demand from the Bamum and the Nsor. And of course, if you know the geography of the present-day Northwest, the very close links between the people of the West and of the Northwest. And it should be underscored that the population of the BLM identified themselves more with the population of the West, especially the population of Enchang. So this made it possible for the idea of reunification to grow.
Yaoundé, on his part, opted for a huge granite structure to celebrate the reunification of the country. It's a granite carving of a no-nonsense man carrying his 7 children. The monument, which stands down the National Assembly Avenue, has become a topic of hectic debate in recent years. It's about the need for some renovation work to include the 3 more children the man has delivered since 1970. There were 7 provinces in Cameroon at the time of reunification. President Biya has since increased the number of the country's regions to 10 under a sweeping reform he introduced to bring the government closer to the people.
They may make their houses for me, you make their home so. Fine massa, oh, fine papa. You are the head of the family, oh. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, oh. Yes, daddy, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. All of a time, madam.
C'est mon papa qui a réalisé le monument de la réunification entre 1973 et 1974. Alors le monument de la réunification a été inspiré à partir d'un discours du président Ahidjo qui parlait de l'unité, de la réunification du Cameroun, du rassemblement des peuples en un seul. Un concours avait donc été lancé dans les années 71. Il gagne le concours. Et quand il gagne, le président le convoque. Il dit, mais tu es parti au Beaux-Arts, tu es revenu, tu n'as rien dit et tout. Il dit, papa, je n'étais pas au Beaux-Arts. Je n'ai jamais été au Beaux-Arts. Je dis, mais c'est pas possible. Et tu parviens quand même à faire des choses comme ça. C'est donc comme ça que le président de la République appelle Valéry Giscard d'Estaing à l'époque, qui était président de la France. Et il lui dit, j'ai un élément entre les mains pour les Beaux-Arts de Paris, mais il n'a pas de diplôme. Bon, avec leur relation, il a accepté de faire entrer mon papa aux Beaux-Arts de Paris à cette époque-là. Il a fait 1 an, juste 1 an. Il est sorti 2e meilleur élève des Beaux-Arts de Paris. Une fois mon papa revenu au Cameroun, le président de la République n'a pas perdu le temps. Il a donc introduit dans le projet de la réunification qui était déjà lancé, la tour de derrière, qui avait été dessinée par le père jésuite Angèle Benvin et qui était coordonnée par l'architecte Salomon, le français. C'est donc comme ça que mon papa a réalisé le monument de la réunification en 1 année aussi. Les constructions ont continué et lui, il a fini, 73-74. Si vous regardez sur certains murs, sur le toit, il y a des mosaïques. C'est le maître Tolo qui a réalisé ça.
Osinyuta peboso ombana pasine pasi omba bongi ese itele nonde milema omba omadambwa tengeya odambwa nondoka moto setona boloy boloy osidimbe ya ponna okusi minam songere yanu pepe nukusi misima kawa langwa Oidimbea na wande ibake no iduba na bolongi basu Oidimbea Obina Wende bisoka no musina no jai motese bolo olondo.
And here is a colorful mountainside edifice in Boya, which President Paul Biya inaugurated himself. This was during a milestone official visit he paid to the former West Cameroonian capital in 2014 to celebrate 50 years of Cameroon's reunification.
Here we are in Boya. As the English people say, better late than never.
The designers of the monument present Cameroon here in the form of 10 candles that must remain lit and in the hands of trusted leadership, no matter how stormy the weather may be. For President Biya, now that Cameroon's reunification has been established and secured, the nation is looking up to the architects of tomorrow to design symbols that will keep the Cameroonian people focused on the task of building a country that is united and prosperous.
Masoma naloba yemoi Masoma naloba yemoi Ya sona ya leje memoye Isi ya beki suba onami
The 10 pillar is a representation of 10 regions. You have the Northwest, Southwest, Littoral, Adamawa. It's a representation. You don't need to bother about the size of the size of the pillars. One is short, one is long. All of us, we are all at the same platform. It's just a symbolic sign of, the representation of the 10 regions. If you look at the logo, the 50th anniversary, there's a peace plant at the top. It speaks, it tells us about the peace that reign in Cameroon. And this is thanks to our lovely father, the number one of the nation, His Excellency, President Paul Biya. We are thanking him for the peace that we enjoy.
And the May 20 Boulevard in Yaoundé. This is where traditional National Day parades have been held since 1972. It was at this venue that Cameroonians turned out in droves during an unprecedented National Day parade in 1985 to demonstrate their support for President Paul Biya in the aftermath of the April 6 failed coup 1 year earlier.
Nous sommes libres, oh bon Dieu, merci. Liberté, liberté. Dieu tout-puissant, nous sommes libres, merci. Auguste, conquérant de la liberté, sur une route jalonnée de paix, sous 36 000 brasiers déchaînés, vous avez lutté et vous avez sauvé l'Afrique. Écoutez, frères païens noirs, écoutez leurs paroles.
And last but not the least, Unity Palace, the seat of power and home of Cameroon's head of state. President Biya and his family moved into this masterpiece of architectural design after his swearing in on November 6, 1982. It is here that he has displayed the full dimension of his leadership skills and achieved his prophecy to become the man who brought democracy to Cameroon. Having completed the process to unite Cameroon, he has redirected the thrust of his action towards transforming the unitary state into a decentralized nation.
Nous sommes libres, merci. Et toi, Cameroun, terre de nos ancêtres, la liberté avance sur un trépied vert, rouge, jaune. Je te vois gémir devant ce fleuve de sang. Ces montagnes d'os qui craquent sous ce soleil africain. Cameroun, terre de rencontre, miniature. Que toutes les bouches chantent avec toi et à travers tous les âges, on chante, chantons la liberté.